Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Countries detecting the Omicron variant are increasing by the day. Latest figures show no less than 35 countries have recorded a COVID infection by the fifth variant of concern. 4 of them belong to the Western Pacific region: Australia, Hong Kong, Japan, and the Republic of Korea. But the World Health Organization thinks the variant is already spreading in other countries.
The number of countries with Omicron circulating in the Western Pacific is already likely to be much higher than this, and as we are seeing an increasing number of reports globally, I think our region may also see an increase in the number of countries that report it over time.
While current measures are still seen to be effective in responding to the pandemic, the WHO says available information suggests that the Omicron variant is more transmissible.
The data suggests that potentially higher transmissibility. So what is very important is to prepare and be ready for this next surge.
14 countries are currently in the Philippines' red list, but the WHO says travel restrictions will not prevent but only delay the entry of Omicron.
It's not possible to completely stop the virus unless you completely close the border, which has a significant impact. And therefore, what is important is that we should not be complacent because of the border control, or we should not just rely on the border control.
As a matter of fact, travelers from South Africa have entered the country right before the government imposed restrictions. More than 250 have arrived from South Africa between November 15 to 29, who are all being closely monitored by the Bureau of Quarantine.
BOQ has started to locate these passengers. No positive case was reported on retest, while the 3 foreign nationals from Region 6 tested negative on RT-PCR retest last December 1. The 3 South African nationals who arrived in Negros Occidental last November 25 and 26 are all fully vaccinated and are all currently asymptomatic. They are all undergoing quarantine in rented houses and have underwent re-swabbing last December 1 with pending test results.
Verhere adds 1 passenger each from South Africa, Burkina Faso, and Egypt have tested positive for COVID. Their samples are currently being assessed if eligible for genome sequencing. Burkina Faso and Egypt are not part of the red list.
Hindi po tayo magsasara and to isolate Philippines sa rest of the world. The threat is there, but if we are prepared, we can be assured that we will be protected.
It still remains to be seen if Omicron causes more severe disease and if it drastically reduces a vaccine's efficacy. This is why vaccination remains important.
We know that the vaccines continue to be highly effective against protecting individuals against severe disease, hospitalization, and death. And our focus should have to remain about ensuring that individuals who are unvaccinated are protected from these outcomes.
Both the DOH and the WHO say that the Philippines has learned so much from the recent Delta-fueled surge. Lessons which will spell the difference between properly managing or bowing down to Omicron once it enters the country.
Only a few workers who belong to the A4 priority group and indigent population, or A5, availed of COVID booster shots on the first day of its rollout to these sectors at the Makati Coliseum. Only fully vaccinated adults who received their second dose at least 6 months ago or a single-dose Janssen vaccine at least 3 months ago are eligible to get a booster shot. Dr. Roland Unson of the Makati Health Department says eligible residents who received their primary series in the city may walk in at COVID vaccination sites to get a booster. Just bring a valid ID and vaccination card. But eligible adults who were initially jabbed in another LGU should register online first and wait for a schedule. They will also be given the opportunity to choose their booster brand, whether the same or different from the brand of their primary vaccine series, depending on available supply.
Meron po kaming Pfizer, may Astra, may Sinovac din. Meron din po kaming konting Moderna. Pagdating po nila sa site, doon lang po nila malalaman. Yung sa mga nurses po natin, saka mga doctors, yung po ang nag-a-advise sa kanila.
In Caloocan City, eligible adults need not register for booster. They can go straight to a vaccination center as long as they bring the complete requirements. The City Health Office recommends them to be on site around noon because the administration of first and second doses are prioritized in the morning. Mandaluyong City has also started administering booster shots to all qualified adults 18 years old and above. In Dasmariñas, Cavite, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III led the ceremonial booster vaccination for the rest of the adult population. But some local governments in Metro Manila have yet to implement it. Navota City is scheduled to roll out booster shots for the A4 and A5 population on Monday, while San Juan City will begin implementing it on Saturday.
Kagabi namin natanggap ang advisory kung kaya't minabuti namin bukas magsimula upang maging mas organisado po ang proseso. Kami po ay may online registration na ginagamit.
After 4 days of the national COVID vaccination drive in the Philippines, 37.3 million individuals, or 48% of the target 77 million Filipinos, have been fully vaccinated. 52.4 million received their first dose, and over 421,000 were jabbed with a booster or third shot.
Google's decision to ban political ads in the Philippines during the election campaign period is a welcome development for some experts. PR practitioners and social media analysts say this can help reduce disinformation and misinformation. However, some believe this move will have little impact based on how content is being consumed.
I think hindi siya maaaring magkaroon ng ganong kalaking impact kasi it all boils down to the platform. Kung titingnan natin, ang majority of the voting public are still using the popular platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and even Instagram. Limited kasi yung kaya nilang kontrolin na platform. As long as the ban will not affect the major platforms or social media platforms na ginagamit namin to really communicate our message, hindi magiging ganon kalaki yung impact nito. Kasi at the end of the day, what matters is we are communicating with our market.
Only paid ads are covered by the ban, but there is no regulation on content. This means publicists and supporters can still upload videos to promote their candidate in their own channel. Experts believe that the ban on political ads on Google will lessen the proliferation of disinformation on social media. But another point of concern is the shrinking space for political discourse, especially at the height of pandemic restrictions. Election stakeholders see a downside to the decision since it will affect candidates with less campaign resources.
Yung mga kandidato na wala masyado pera doon sa traditional campaigning o sa paglilipad or lumilipad sa iba't ibang parte ng Pilipinas, hindi nila magagamit yung platform to introduce themselves to the people.
Meron ding restrictions sa in-person campaigning because you still have to get a permit from COMELEC. Mas lumiliit yung puwang or space for campaigning ng mga taong hindi makaka-afford ng TV and radio.
Google updated its policy on political content amid pressure on how social media platforms handled political advertising during the 2020 U.S. presidential election.
Get ready for the ultimate in fresh produce, barbecue, seafood, sushi, and more. Meals made easy. Kimchi with wow. Our dishes make you a star. H-Mart.
This is the future. Forget what you know about currency, commerce, investment. The age of Bitcoin is upon us. And now anyone, anywhere can turn cash into crypto with a coin flip ATM. Booyah.
With low fees and 24/7 support, CoinFlip makes crypto so flippin' easy. Go to coinflip.tech to find an ATM near you.
ViaTimes, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. ViaTimes for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. ViaTime has very interesting columnists. You name it, ViaTimes has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call ViaTimes at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have very exciting personalities who are here in Chicago, but I think one is already a Chicago resident, and they are here for a very interesting show. Okay, help me welcome Jackie Linn. Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
And Eric Esteban.
What's up, y'all?
Eric and J.R. De Guzman.
Hello.
These very interesting and talented people are here in Chicago for a show. The title of the show is Laughter is Essential. It is a comedy and will be shown where, Jackie?
Yeah, so it's going to be held at Zanies in Old Town, a comedy club that's been one of the oldest comedy clubs in the U.S.
Okay.
It'll be on December 12th.
All right, it's very soon. Okay.
But it's also, there's a lot of different specifics to Zanies. Zanies is, I grew up in Chicago, and Zanies is like the original OG, like every comic in the world wants to play Zanies. And this is the first time we have an all Filipino American lineup at Zanies on the main stage. So obviously JR's the headliner, but all of us are coming together, and this is the first time that it's an all Filipino American lineup at one of the historic, most respected comedy clubs in all of the country. So it's kind of a big deal.
All right, sounds good. Let me introduce you first, guys, to our viewing audience. Jacqueline is the producer of this show, and Eric Esteban is the co-producer. Oh, and Jack is also the host. And of course, JR is the headliner, the Vida, and he's a comedian and a singer too. Okay, guys, first thing, please tell our viewing audience briefly about you.
Jackie, why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, I'm originally born and raised in Los Angeles in historic Filipino town. So I've been, close to my Filipino roots. I started doing comedy in 2012. So I've been doing it for a while. And I actually was a co-lead in a series called Mr. Student Body President, which originally aired on Verizon's Go 90. It had a brief run on Amazon Prime, but now you can watch everything, all 4 seasons on YouTube. So yeah, that's a little background about myself. And now I'm producing a comedy show for the Philippine Nurses Association with Eric Esteban. I guess you could go next, Eric, if you'd like.
Well, we always save the headliner for last anyway, right, JR?
Yeah,
man. I'm Eric Esteban. I grew up in Chicago, started at Second City and Improv Olympic, and I used to be at Second City on Wells, same street that Zanies is on. I used to walk, when I would after rehearsal, and I'd walk past Zanies and dream of one day being on the main stage, and now I'm here at the main stage, and with an all Filipino lineup. It's almost like a dream come true on top of a dream come true. It's really, really cool. And I mean, as far as I Can See Your Voice with Ken Jeong, I was the karaoke king. I've done a whole bunch of stuff. I've been acting since 1997. A Filipino American animated movie that I produced called The Fisherman, aired on HBO in 2012. I mean, and I just performed with JR at the Ford with Rex Navarrete and Apple the App and Ruby Ibarra, and it was one of the most incredible nights. And like, you don't need Oscars or anything like that when you have nights like that. And am I right, JR? Because that was one of the most incredible nights I've ever had, and it was great. So I'll just give it to JR because I could talk for days. So.
All right, JR.
Yeah. I like Eric said, we just performed at the Ford, and it was another amazing night of just Filipino artists getting together and performing for the community. Yeah, I've been doing stand-up for about 10 years now. Oops, here we go. That was just a little adventure. That was take you guys on a little journey. And I do music and comedy together. It's a very Filipino thing. Every time I bring up a guitar and sing on stage with comedy, they're like, oh, of course you do. But no, it's really been my passion, and I've been able to travel the world with comedy, which has been really a blessing. And anytime we're able to do a show like this for the Filipino community, it's pretty great. Just to represent, because I know when I was growing up as a kid, we didn't see a lot of Filipinos on stage or on the screen. So, seeing Jackie, Eric, myself, and all those other comics, I'm excited that we give that chance for Filipinos to like get excited to see someone that looks like them on stage. And for this cause, I think it's great. The Philippine Nurses Association, especially during the last 2 years, this pandemic, I think they've been hit pretty hard. But even before that, Filipinos work the hardest out of anybody out there. So it's good to be able to do a show that gives back. Credit wise, I've been able to do a short. I did a 15-minute special for Netflix, and did a few other shows. I did a Comedy Central show with Kevin Hart, and that was another like really great opportunity. So yeah, I'm excited to be doing the show. Excited to go to Chicago. My nephew lives out there, so it'll be a great time.
Okay, briefly, how did you, the three of you, get together to produce the show? This particular.
Jackie, tell the story. You're the one who brought us together, so.
Yeah, so I was given the opportunity to produce a show at Zanies, and this is my first show that I'm producing, and I've known Eric as an internet friend for a little while, and I know he's from Chicago, so I contacted Eric, and I've seen that he's produced a lot of comedy shows, so I reeled him in to be a co-producer. I met JR briefly, actually, a week before I was given that opportunity to produce at Zanies. I met him at it was a show you did with Rex Navarrete here.
Was it in Chicago? Pro?
Yeah, I think it was Phil Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So I met JR briefly, and I've seen his work online, like like everybody. And I kind of just, brought it up to Eric, and then I brought it up to JR, like, hey, why don't we do a show at Zanies? This is a really big opportunity for the Filipino community. And, Eric has been an amazing co-producer. Like, he actually chose Philippine Nurses Association. And yeah, it's been incredible. I'm just grateful that both of them decided to be part of the show.
And this is so far the first time here in Chicago that we are showing a lineup of Filipinos in a play like this, right? And
it's not a play; it's a stand-up performance. So like the lineup is all Filipino. Yeah.
Yes. How many Filipinos?
It's six, right?
6 in total. I have 3 other talented comedians that are our guest comedians for the lineup.
But they're all local Chicago comedians, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one just moved to Chicago, so now they're all local. Yeah.
And it will benefit the Philippine Nurses Association of America, right? Why did you choose that particular organization?
Well, because I read I've been, following the coronavirus, unfortunate pandemic. And I read a statistic about how Filipino Americans in general make up 4% of the population of medical workers in the United States. But Filipino nurses made up 30% of the fatalities in relation to the coronavirus over the pandemic. So those numbers are just drastic to me. And the idea that the Filipino Americans have taken the brunt of this pandemic, and we can give them a little bit of something with some laughter, and then hopefully make a little bit of money because of the prestige of the comedy club and the prestige of, obviously JR has, I'm always honored to do a show with JR just because he's blown up so big, and he's done, he's heard the names that he's been with, Kevin Hart, Comedy Central. I'm following the trail that JR and Rex and Joe and all the other Filipino American comics that have done it before us, that kind of blaze a trail. And now we get to do a show with them here at Zanies. It's kind of like a really incredible thing. And then to be able to do it to benefit people who've been hit so hard for the past couple of years, it really means a lot to all of us, because it validates our comedy, but it also gives us a little bit more meaning to what we're trying to do. So it's a lot, and I'm hoping that the Filipinos in Chicago come out and support, but not only come out and support our comedy, come out and donate. And we're gonna be taking donations at the show. We're gonna be having a raffle at the show where we'll be giving away some really cool stuff, and you can donate, and all the money will be going, all the proceeds will be going to the Filipino Nurses Association. So,
okay, what is the core of your comedy? I've seen some Filipino comedians before. I think they thrive in making fun of the Filipino roots. What's the core of your comedy show?
You can go ahead, JR, if you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
Man, that's it. It's interesting because it changes, from year to year, what you're talking about as a comic. But I would say, I know there's a comic I really love. I'm sure you guys know Joey Gila, and we were talking about this one day where it was like Jackie was saying even too about how laughter is the best medicine. There's a lot of truth to that, and sometimes you go up with that goal to kill it, but Joey and I were talking about going up with that goal to heal the audience and connect with the audience. So I think for me, the core of my stuff is just, it's not even really the topic, but it's just to do something fun and silly in that moment that really is something special for the audience to leave with and remember oh, wow, this we're alive, we're here, this is cool, and it's a good time, and we're here in the present. That being said, I do talk a little bit about Filipino culture and my family and when we first moved here from the Philippines, and I talk a little bit about dating because I dated a white girl before, and that was interesting for Filipinos to get to hear about. And I don't know, I'm going through my set list right now in my head, but yeah, but the rest of it is just kind of all over the place a little bit. I have some comedy songs that are appropriate for the family, and some that you have to cover your kids' ears. So I have both.
Okay. Well, maybe.
No, I think Veronica, when you're talking about making fun of the Filipino culture, I think you're speaking to comedians who do accents on stage, right? And people who can kind of make a caricature of the Filipino American with an accent. And I played characters with accents, and there are people who have accents in our society, in our culture. Filipino Americans have accents. My dad has an accent. My mom has an accent. However slight or however drastic, it's the degrees of how you speak, but that's how people speak. And sometimes I think when people have an accent and people are playing an accent on stage, if the accent is played just for the laughs and the sound of the accent, then yeah, it's a cheap laugh. I think it's boring. I think that's whack. But if the accent is played to play a character and embody the person on stage and become that person on stage, then I feel like it's a different thing. And I agree with you, because I played a character called Mini Pacquiao for a long time. And I got some notoriety. Some people in Chicago watched it, and it was and I got to meet Manny. And but I remember my mom telling me, saying, "Eric, why are you making fun of us and our accent?" And I said, "I'm not making fun of our accent. I'm bringing a Filipino American character into American comedy, and they have an accent. And if that accent makes people laugh a little bit, then great. But I don't think that I'm relying, and I don't want to rely on the voice to be the joke. I want the character and whatever the character is trying to say to be the joke. So if that's the core of my comedy, that's the core. Is whenever I'm playing a character, I want you to believe that I'm that character, and then I'll play the whole scene on stage for you with all the different characters on stage. So I'm kind of schizophrenic, if you can't tell by the franticness of my voice.
And so usually, what is the typical reaction of your family talking about your shows?
It depends on the subject, but sometimes they'll be like, "You really shouldn't say that," and sometimes they'll love it. Like my dad loves my stuff, but sometimes my mom will, "You're not supposed to talk that way." So there's a struggle, but that's comedy. Comedy is, the two masks. There's tragedy and there's comedy, but you need both, because there's always the butt of a joke, right? Somebody's going to be made fun of in a joke. That's just how it goes. Usually I try to use my own self to be the butt of the joke and self-deprecate, but sometimes there's a butt of a joke. That's just how it goes.
But you're really, if you're a real comedian, you can find jokes wherever you go anyway.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
With anybody. So, which is good, instead of being serious in life.
Well, laughter's the best medicine, right, Dr. Jackie Lynn?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. John. All right. Where's your parents from? Where did it come from? From the Philippines. What province?
Both my parents were from Manila. My dad was taga Sampaloc and my mom was San Andres. Those were the neighborhoods they were from.
Manileños. All right. Very good. Okay. How long is the show? Sorry. Okay. How long
The show should be about 90 minutes, so an hour and a half.
Okay.
Give or take, depending
7 p.m. on Sunday.
Filipino
So
time.
after Santo Niño, drive into the city and go to Wells and watch the show.
That's sane.
If I know the schedule of most Chicago Filipinos, that's how it goes. Hurry up and eat the kainan and then come to the show after the Santo Niño.
Good. My last question, directs to all of you. Where do you go from here? Would you still be, do you see yourselves doing comedy shows throughout your life, or you're planning to have something in the future for yourselves?
Well, personally, I do, I'm hoping to keep producing more shows. And I'm never going to stop doing comedy. So I would love to be 100 and still be on stage and, trying to make people laugh. Eventually, I do want to own a comedy club as well, so that, I can open doors to other Filipinos and other artists who may not have the opportunity to be on stage. And I pretty much just, I want to do everything. I want to make movies. I want to just make people laugh and leave a good memory of myself, I guess.
Okay, Eric.
I've been in the game since 1997. I've been acting since I did my first professional play in 97. My goal has always been to put Filipino American comedy and Filipino American stories into the Hollywood lexicon and build it and from within, using us, building our community up. So I'm going to keep doing that. I've been doing that, and I went from producing one show a month last year to now I'm probably going to be producing four a month. And this show and shows in Florida and in Virginia Beach, in San Francisco, more shows with JR, more shows with Rex, more shows with Joey Gila, more shows with Joe Coy. I mean, that's my goal, is before the end of 2022 is to open for Joe. That's a goal of mine. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm putting it out in the universe here for ViaTimes, and you heard it here first.
Okay, JR?
Yeah, I mean, just like they both said, this is a thing I think that we've chosen to do for life. And it's like, this is like the biggest commitment I've made in my life. It's any girlfriend, anything else, any job. This is the longest I've ever done anything. So, you know, I'm committed. Stand-up is my wife, basically. And she's given me a lot of good things, and there's a lot of good things to come. I do want to do more specials. I would love to act in TV and film, and, you know, maybe even like write a few things, but stand-up is the main vehicle. And I think just kind of similar to them, I'm excited to see where it takes me and just the people I get to meet and work with. Yeah, so I think it just feels like this vehicle that's kind of taking me places, and I'm excited for it and thankful.
Okay, guys, I'll try to invite our viewing audience to your show and say it in Tagalog, in our language. Try to make some kind of funny lines when you invite. How do you do that?
Do you guys know Tagalog?
Yeah, you go
well?
first. You're the headliner now.
Yeah. Oh, reverse. I'm the opener. Oh man, I don't know a lot of Tagalog. So
you were born in the Philippines.
Yeah, but I moved here when I was like 1 year old.
I know. I'm just joking.
I could. Man, what's
I know a little bit.
JR, yeah. Okay, you first.
JR, you can just be like, "Hello, kababayan."
Okay. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Hey, titas, titos, kababayan, kuyas, and ates, come on out to the show. There's going to be free run after the show. I'm going to hold that to Jackie, and if there's not, it's Jackie's fault, I swear. But no, it's going to be a great time. Come out, come laugh, and bring a date, and just have a good time. Laughter is essential.
Very
Eric,
good.
I think you know Tagalog more, don't you?
We'll see what comes out. I won't say swears.
Okay.
Hoy, kababayan, Chicago kababayan, please come out and support the first all Filipino American lineup at the historic comedy club Zanies in Chicago. Yo, we're making Chicago Filipino American history. Mabuhay talaga! Let's come on. You guys better come or I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset if y'all don't come. Okay, so please.
All right. You're very good. You're really making me laugh now. Okay, Jackie.
See, Veronica, you said if I can just find anything funny, I'm a good comedian. So.
Oh gosh, I feel like I'm trying to translate in my head now, and it's not working. I need Google Translate.
Oh. Okay. And all right. Maraming salamat sa inyong tatlo. And you really are good, and you made my day. But anyway, I will really try hard to see you all at the Zanies. When is the day?
Yeah, please come, Tita Veronica. Come. We would love to meet you in person at the show. That'd be great. We got to take a picture.
All right.
With the three of us for the newspaper. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yes, for sure. This will be for the newspaper, and this interview is for the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, which is also known as Cprtv. And okay, Jack.
I just remember reading ViaTimes when I was a kid. That's why. So
yes. Oh my God, I'd like to see you guys in person. All right, and
Cprtv, Philippine nurses, laughter is essential. Kind of all comes together, don't you think?
I'm saying with JR, De Guzman headlining, let's go.
Okay, your Lola Veronica will be there for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so maraming salamat Jackie and Eric and JR. I am really delighted to have you here as my guest, and see you at the comedy show at Zany's. All right,
December 12th at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. What? Only one show? Is there only one show?
Well, I'm also going to be producing my karaoke comedy show, and Jackie's going to be on that. That's going to be at the Holiday Club on Thursday, the 9th at 7:30. Jackie's helping me co-produce that because she's got a lockdown on the holiday. And JR, if you're in town and want to come through, if you're in town, please come through. Well, you know,
Sure.
you definitely have a set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you would
thanks,
kill
man.
it. You would get
That'll
to
be
it.
fun. That'll be fun. I get in, I think I get in on Saturday. So
Okay,
I'll,
fun.
if
The
anything
show's on
changes.
Thursday. But
yeah.
that's another Filipino show where we do stand up and then we sing karaoke right after the set. So it's stand up comedians singing karaoke, hosted by me, and it's another great show. And it's at the Holiday Club on June 9th on Thursday, and that's
December
hosted by
9th.
Jackie and me too.
December 9th.
So it's another Filipino American show.
Sounds very exciting. All right. You've heard that, our viewing audience. And for an addition to your Christmas celebration, please try to see our kababayan, a talented kababayan who will make us laugh. And I'm telling you, I know that they are good. And congratulations to you guys, Jackie, Eric.
Thank you.
JR. Thank you for gracing our show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Salamat. Maraming salamat.
Salamat.
Maligayang Pasko, right?
Wow, that was a bad accent,
Correct.
Jackie.
Maligayang
I
Pasko.
think so.
Okay. Bye.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and
Good afternoon. This is Brigitte, Carino, Cueter bringing you this week's local news from our community. As Illinoisans brace for higher heat bills this winter, the Illinois Commerce Commission is taking steps to avoid a repeat of February's cold spell that disrupted the flow of natural gas to Illinois. The storm that blanketed the south-central region of the country forced natural gas processing plants to shut down as liquid froze inside pipes and compressors, dramatically reducing output in the region. The reduction in supply, coupled with an increase in demand for home heating by gas-fired electric generators, sent natural gas prices soaring from around $3.50 per MMBTU on February 10th to nearly $24 per MMBTU a week later. Many towns in Illinois were hit with enormous bills. The tiny village of Westfield's gas bill was over $1 million for February when the cold spell hit the state. Over the last year and a half, one of the dominant stories in the U.S. economy has been the steep increase in the cost of homes in a highly competitive market. Earlier this year, the median sales price of a home in the U.S. passed $400,000 for the first time, up by more than 20% from before the COVID-19 pandemic began. With unusually low inventory of existing homes for sale throughout the pandemic and new construction struggling to catch up, limited supply has been one of the factors driving these increases. On the demand side, millions of home buyers have entered the market, seeking to take advantage of low mortgage rates, increased savings, and strong investment returns during the pandemic. But one of the more fundamental factors in the demand for homes is demographics. Millennials, currently aged 25 to 40, are now the largest generation in the U.S. and in the prime age for buying a first or second home. According to a 2021 study from the National Association of Realtors, millennials now make up 37% of home buyers, by far the largest share of any generation. The Illinois Student Assistance Commission, the state's college access and financial aid agency, is pleased to recognize the 2022-23 Illinois State Scholars. State scholars are selected annually based on standardized test scores combined with sixth semester class rank. These exceptional students rank in approximately the top 10% of graduates from Illinois high schools. On behalf of ISAC, congratulations to all of the Illinois State Scholars for their hard work and commitment inside and outside the classroom, said ISAC Executive Director Eric Zarnico. In the past 2 years, students and families have faced unprecedented difficulties as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, from financial and personal ordeals to all of the challenges of remote learning. The achievements of these students are a credit to their perseverance and resilience, and to the support and encouragement of their families, principals, teachers, mentors, counselors, and others invested in their growth and success. The Metropolitan Museum of Art announced that Oscar Tang and Agnes Sue Tang have pledged $125 million to fund the renovation of the museum's modern wing. This is the largest capital gift ever to the Met and follows Oscar Tang's nearly 30 years of service and leadership as a trustee, as well as his extraordinary generosity in endowing curatorial positions, funding new and expanded galleries, and providing exceptional gifts of art. With this gift, the Met moves forward with a re-envisioning of the presentation of modern and contemporary art within the museum, creating 80,000 square feet of galleries and public space named the Oscar L. Tang and H.M. Agnes Sue Tang Wing. With this remarkable gift, Oscar and Agnes are enabling the Met to realize its ambitious mission for future generations, said Daniel H. Weiss, President and CEO. Their generosity, while breathtaking in its scope and vision, is no surprise, as it is an extension of their decades-long support of our museum. Indeed, for 151 years, the Met's foundation was built precisely in this fashion. From the support of extraordinary individuals who have the vision and passion to make it possible for all New Yorkers, as well as visitors from around the world, to experience art from across 5,000 years of human history. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte decorated Philippine Ambassador to the U.S., Jose Romualdez, with the Order of Sikatuna, rank of Datu, Gold Distinction, and awarded the embassy's former First Secretary and Consul, Ms. Katrina Isabel Borja Martin, with the Gawad Mabini, with the rank of Dakilang Kasugo, Commander, for their efforts in strengthening the long-standing, comprehensive, and thriving ties between the Philippines and the United States of America. The Order of Sikatuna and Gawad Mabini are two of the highest presidential awards given in recognition of the awardees' exemplary service to the people and nation. The Order of Sikatuna is an order of diplomatic merit conferred upon individuals who have rendered exceptional and meritorious efforts to the Republic of the Philippines, while the Gawad Mabini is conferred on Filipinos who have rendered distinguished foreign service or helped promote the interests and prestige of the Philippines abroad. The Illinois Department of Agriculture, IDOA, will host the first Illinois Product Holiday Market. The market takes place December 4th and 5th on the Y Block, north of the Governor's Mansion. The holiday market will feature Illinois products for everyone on your shopping list this season. We are excited to partner with Downtown Springfield's Holiday Walks to bring local products to shoppers this holiday season, said Jackie Sembersky, IDOA Bureau Chief of Marketing. Building off the success of the Illinois Product Farmers Market and Illinois Product Expo, the holiday market offers our vendors an opportunity to showcase their products in a unique location during the giving season. Some of the vendors you will see include the Homestead Bakery, John Ellis Woodworking, Peter's Produce Smoked Cheese and Goods, JoJo Jewelry, and many more. On top of the great Illinois products available, there will be entertainment by local music artists and a holiday workshop where ornament crafts will be available for decorating. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Brigitte. See you next time.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. This is Melody Dizon, your Health Matters host. And today I do have a special guest for you guys. I know it's been a while that I haven't seen you, or maybe you haven't seen me, but here I am. And my special guest today is no other than Satish John. He is from Alora Home Health Software. And I just had the pleasure of meeting him yesterday. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. And basically his business is giving software to and providing software to home health agencies. So we're here today just to kind of talk about a little bit about the Alora Home Health and how it can help or how it has helped other agencies. So good afternoon.
Hello.
Thank you.
I'm doing well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being, okaying me to do this with you.
Well,
so I was
thanks for
telling,
the opportunity. Yeah.
Sure. So telling people about Alora Home Health Software. What made you think to do this business? What you're doing now? What pushed you? What moved you?
Yes. In 2005, I started Alora. Prior to starting Alora, I was exploring which aspect of healthcare I could develop a software, because my background was software development and I was in the healthcare industry for a long time. So after exploring different areas of healthcare, I identified that the growth potential for home healthcare is phenomenal. And also, there were no good software that were easy to use and offered at an affordable cost. So we wanted to solve the problem, providing home health software at an affordable cost for home health agencies for all aspects of their operation, including the financial, clinical, and operational aspects.
I think that is great. And truly, there is such a need because home health care is here and will stay for a long time. But on top of that, there are regulations to be followed. There are compliance to be, compliance to set, and you have to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, because Medicare is our provider, is the one that's helping us. What Mr. John has told me earlier, that the reason and the birth of Alora Home Health Software is the fact that there's a need, right? Number one. There's a lot of home health agencies out there that will benefit from using your software, from financial aspect to clinical and to the operational side of things, which on my case, it's very helpful and very beneficial. And obviously the pricing is not that high. So
yeah, exactly.
So I see a lot of, technology is technology, right? You get so many information from technology, but doing what you do you think, how could it help the healthcare system by having developed the software?
So the ultimate goal for the software is that better care for the patients and operational efficiency for the agency, right? So you don't want agencies to hire too many staff to run their agency, because the payment is limited.
Correct.
And you want to be as efficient as possible. And when your caregivers go in the field and when they do the documentation, you want a solution that is user-friendly for them to use, and also guide them with the compliance. They help them to do their notes according to the plan of care, and if a caregiver doesn't complete the note, the system should validate and make sure that the document is complete. So that facilitates better patient care, and also that the ease of use helps the agency run their operations better. We use this motto: when work gets easier, there is no limit to what you can achieve.
I must agree.
So, right, yes. So that's the motto we operate by to make things easier for the agency.
Oh, that is lovely, because no, truly it drives better outcomes. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It drives better clinical decision making, because you have this information from the last visit, and this was the information from 2 weeks visit, and you look at things, summarize, compound everything, and say, okay, well, this is the best for the patient.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and I really think that will help with our healthcare situation. And the one thing too that I wanted to share is the fact that we're doing the data mining. When we data mine, and data mining, for people who don't know what that is, it's the clinical information that we put on the software, and then when somebody tries to open that software or goes to the patient's chart, everything is there already.
Yeah,
you don't want redundancy, right? No redundancy.
Yeah.
And you want to avoid any errors or anything like that.
Right. The data mining is very important to see the patient's outcome. Whether the patient is improving from 2 months ago or declining. So the software can make it easy to see visually. For example, Allura has a tool called Vitals Dashboard that can show all their vitals for over a period of time to see overall if the patient is improving, is their sugar level improving, is their wound healing,
correct,
all of that. Yes,
that's true. And I really think the kids nowadays can maybe take away from this, that whatever they're trying to do, it will all make sense later on. Probably when you started, you're like, oh, I don't know, how is this gonna, make out there with whatever you're doing, but it's technology and science together in one.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that something that's so nice?
Yeah, it's amazing. We think that our goal is to bridge the gap between technology and healthcare.
That's good.
And that's what we try to do. And when we started Allura back in 2005, we started with a basic back office solution.
Sure.
But as we started adding more and more customers, the system evolved based on the feedback from customers using it every day. So with the help of customers, it was easier to see what makes life easier for the agency staff. So the software kind of steadily matured according to that.
That's good. Yeah. So do you have any words or any kind of encouragement to our teenagers as to what they have to say regarding who's going to be going to college, and anything that you can impart to them? So when we started Allura, it appeared as an impossible task to cover all aspects of a home health agency operation into one software solution. But how we were able to achieve that was that keep working hard, focusing on a little bit every day,
take baby steps in improving what you have or what you do every single day. It's not hard to make a slight improvement every single day, but over a period of a long time, you look back and you would feel surprised that the long way you came from.
That's right.
You know, you can make big achievement by just taking baby steps every day.
Yeah. So how do you foresee the future? How do you think, or where do you think we will be between technology and science? I mean, I know that's a vast question.
Yeah.
Because there's just it's all to your taking, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the future for home health care is very bright because everybody, all patients, they want to spend their time at home rather than anywhere else. So is it possible to do acute care at patients' home?
Yes.
Right now, it's not easy. It is possible, but technology is going to evolve and make it more and more easier
And doable
to take care of patients, even in acute care. At home. So I feel that the technology will help to make home health care for everyone in many aspects of healthcare. That's what I think. Yeah.
Wow, I could only foresee it and I go, oh my gosh, the future is bright for everyone. Well, I do thank you for this time, Mr. John. Thank you for this opportunity that you've given me, and for the folks that you're hearing about this, people in the home health industry or in healthcare, Allura home health software is good. It's very, very good. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, I'll see you next time. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.